Well, hello again folks. We have just set up our flight to Queenstown. The weather is looking more like it's going to be... Just going to open up these doors again. The weather in Queenstown is going to be... Once again, I'll turn off these flags. Yeah, rewind. Right, try again. The weather in Queenstown is going to be 160 degree 5 to 6 knot winds, so that would mean we're going to be using runway 05 for our arrival, which is not as scenic as 23, but we did it yesterday. So let's do runway 5 arrival, which is still just as scenic as we fly over the lake. Being not in the flock of friendship, it's going to be a bit more, do a bit more of a, I guess, a scenic commentary. I don't really know that part of that country. I've never really been there much, but yeah, we're going to take off from runway 36 instead of doing the old-fashioned VOR climb up over the lake and back again. We're going to do the old SID departure, which will take us over these stunning lakes behind these mountains here. This, as I said before, this is they call it a caldera. It's basically a volcano. Rotorua Lake is an old volcano. That island Makoia, which is now a predator-proof sanctuary for our birds, kiwi, that is a lava plug, and once upon a time the lake used to go all the way around. That's Nongataha. That's another, basically it's a lava plug. It's got the gondolas and the luges. It's a really cool place. Unfortunately there was like a wildlife park that closed down. It's got some beautiful springs. That's no longer, but originally the lake used to, before there was an outlet, which is that outlet I showed you that connects up to another lake. There was no outlet, so the water just rose and rose and rose, and eventually it, as water does, it carved its way out to sea, and the lake quickly drained, and we have what we have now. And yeah, this is Rotorua. So we'll get in, we'll get started, and we'll get our flight ready for our departure. So we're going to fly up. I'll show them some brief on Navigrass. Going to fly up around over these lakes. If I go to satellite, as you can see, this is Rotorua, this is my hometown, beautiful lake, not the best, but fly over Lake Protowiti. That's where the two lakes are conjoined basically by a little outlet. Fly over, this is Rotorua's best lake in my opinion. That's Lake Okatana, surrounded by forest, one of our healthiest lakes. Flying over Lake Tarawera, which is where the big eruption happened, and that's where the pink and white terraces were. That's another top lake. If you ever go to Rotorua, go to Lake Tarawera, hire a kayak or a boat and explore all of these little nooks and crannies. And over here is, they call it the Tarawera Falls. So the water, basically, there's a river, then it disappears in a, basically it just falls through the earth, and then if you carry on further around, it basically just pours out of this cliff face. I haven't been, but it's spectacular. I've seen photos, my mates have been there, and yeah, then it flows on out through to the Bay of Plenty. So we'll do this departure, fly over these lakes, and then fly over where I used to live, Taupo, fly along Ruapehu and Tongariro and Marahui, which is part of the Lord of the Rings. Might get a glimpse of Taranaki, which was in The Last Samurai, that film that the guy that was in Mission Impossible starred in. And then yeah, fly over basically down the spine of the Southern Alps, and then we will do this approach into the runway Zulu. Z RNP approach into Queenstown, and here I might need to change this. Interesting. Usually it links all the way up. Hold on. Ah, there we go. It's because I've chosen the final approach. I want to select my transition, which is this one here. That looks much better. That's what we want. Unfortunately, guys, the Freeware Airbus AirBuilds, it doesn't do the old RMP approaches, even though airlines like New Zealand, that's their bread and butter. It's a shame. It's because you could do that with the Freeware AirBuilds plane, but they really need to sort that out because it's a shame you can't do that nice approach. But anyway, we will stop digressing too much and let's get this plane going. So we want to upload my next flight, which is Rotorua to Queenstown. Go into our flight plan, our init page, and I did say, guys, we might do this the good old school, the old-fashioned way for those who want to learn. So we'll start off with doing NZRO/NZQN, and then we want to put in our ground temperature into here. View flight plan. We're going to do ANZ, just a random number, but Rotorua, they always use Rotorua and Queenstown. The call sign, the number was usually 600 something. So that was always our Rotorua and Queenstown's little unique flight number, whereas for Rotorua to Wellington to Auckland, it's always 400, I believe, and then Christchurch was 500, something like that. Anyway, go to flight plan, and we're going to do that. I'll change this back to auto. 5, that's Queenstown. 36 Dulsar via prime view. So Dulsar, prime view, insert. So I'll just have a look at what that looks like. Yeah, looks roughly what we want. Of course, we don't have our next waypoints in, so we'll add that in. So basically, if we click on this one here, we want to put in our airway, so I don't have to pay where like various avionics things. It's a pain in the bum having to put all of these waypoints in manually, but the trick to that, if you can put in your airways, it takes so much out of your planning. So we're going to put in H247 via TN, and then it's Q438. That's correct. That's the airport. That's Taumananui Airport, a cool little airport. We'll do that one day. That's Nelson NS. That's the VOR that we tracked last time. And then it's Q787 to Namas, and then Y886 is the next airway. 88.6, and then our final fix is LRAV. And then from there we can just basically insert that, go to Nelson, Queenstown, and we want to or just do our arrival, because that's what you do when you're flying Airbus. So runway 5 Zulu Z 5, yep, that's the one that we want, and we're using the Aotearoa 3A, that's that one there. We do need, yep, and that's selected. We want our approach VS insert. So I don't do this often, but it's always good to make sure your plan matches up to your navigraph. So depart Rotorua, do that beautiful nice turn. We won't, let's honour those speed restrictions because we'll have a nice slow flight over the lakes. Then we carry on for all of these waypoints. Now, when I first did this, I didn't know how to do this, and I really wanted to do this, but I'm so glad I learned. And this is you'd usually go through and make sure all of these, you basically go for it. It's interesting that's not come up. I think it's navigraph, but you go through and make sure all of your altitude and speed restrictions match up, which I'm sure they do. And then it's this nice little curved approach into Queenstown, which you can basically fly like an ILS all the way down, and that is our go around if we need to go around, and if need be we'll do a diversion to Invercargill, which is the traditional alternative airport. As I said earlier, I'll reset this and do it again. Don't need that. Go back to inits. Cost and altitude once this does its thing. But yeah, if we go into world map, but as you can see, this is all mountains, and you do this go around, you do this turn around this little valley, this little whatever you call it, weave your way down this mountain range, and then from there, if you're a single engine, you want to go down to, as the Rolling Stones called it, the a-hole of the world. Beautiful place. Invercargill's a lovely place. It's got a bit of a, once again, it's got a bit of interesting derivative, what you call, but it's a beautiful place. And as you can see, their runway, thanks to Tim Shadbolt, the legend, it's got a nice 2.1k runway, so you've got plenty of room. It's a very quiet airport. If anything goes wrong, it's got all the fire services and whatnot, and it's a lot better option than the next best thing is Dunedin, which is another Airbus A320 airport that has regular. It's a very busy flight. They also do. Scheduled international flights to, but as you can see, that's actually a shorter runway, 1.9, but it's definitely a nice easy sea level in a valley, but it's got lots of room for that's not what I wanted to do, but yeah, it's definitely a nice airport, nice wide runway, a lot better than trying to get your way back to Christchurch, which is when you're up against everything and you just want to get somewhere safe, you just want to do the easiest, most direct route. And I'll show you this, man, like, while we're at it, while we're just mucking around, sorry guys, now look at that, Rotorua runway. Well, that's the length from here to here, but when you include these starter extensions, which are not for landing but for taking off, you know, it takes it out just to like around about the 2.4k mark. Like I say, it's not usable runway, but when you look at like West Wellington, which is Wellington, anyway, Wellington's around about, and there's no really, that's the full runway length, no like start extensions. It's about 1.9, it's about the same length as Dunedin actually. It's for what it is, Rotorua does have a long runway, and as we saw, Invercargill has a long runway too. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's quit the chitter chat. Let's get this set up. So 11 and 36. I think that cost index is one of those highly secretive numbers that airlines pull out of thin air, and it basically, how I understand it, we'll just do our load, instant, and we'll just do it manually, So we've got zero fuel weight is 59.7, and then you want to add in this number here, 32.3, so what was that, 59.7, then you put in your, I think that's basically your zero fuel weight, like center of gravity thing, because this is Airbus and they need all of these figures, 32. No, that was 32.5, you just round it up. Block fuel is 7.1. And with fuel, you always round it down because it's better to have less fuel in your system when you do have less fuel than have too much fuel and not actually have that fuel. So that's what you do. I'll put in headwind day. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but our headwind is minus 25, so you just put 25. Sometimes it takes it, sometimes it doesn't, but did that time, which is good. And now we do this manually as well, just to show you guys that you do these things manually. I'm just gonna, where is Rotorua? I'm just looking at this map I've got. 280s. I'm just gonna do variable. It's 280, but it's basically variable. Outside temperature is 18 degrees. And the QNH, I'm just going to push B, it's 1013, but I think it is 1012, but we'll put 1013 just because we want to be precise. Try it again. Variable to enter, what was the temperature again? 17, wasn't it? Yeah, 18, it's probably gone up. It's 18. 10, 13, enter. Oh, why is this happening? Oh, okay, we're probably NZRO 836. Sync our load sheet in. Now we can do this. Variable to enter 18, 10, 13. A bit odd, it usually comes up. Oh, because I'm pushing reset. That's why, guys. I'm pushing reset by accident. Gosh, I hate this. What I might do is I'm going to use my keyboard. So NZRO 18. Just remember, this is these little workarounds. It's good this is happening because it's good to show you guys the ways of. And you can just push enter and 10, 13, enter. Finally. Oh gosh. There we go. Done, that works. So I'm going to enter these in manually, do the manual way. So 23, 25, 29. So 23, 25, 29, And then we do this flex thing, so we're going to do 3/0.4. I think that's how you do it. 3/0.4. It's quite a lot of flaps, I'm guessing, because Rotorua is a very... Oh, how do they do it? I'm going to just center... I'm going to do this last one. I'll just try one more time. I'll just put in the flex temperature. And then it's 3/0.4. Nope. I'll give up and go send to... Oh, you have to push. You have to type in DN down. Yeah, that's fair enough. Right, that's basically the calculation. Oh, we'll put in our... Just a habit, 214. You don't always have to do this. But, yep, done that. Now we basically scroll this up to 36. We might go higher depending on how it is. Does that sometimes. And sometimes it's a good thing to like turn off and turn on your turning off your flight directors is a bit like resetting your phone. We're just going to do just a 2-engine taxi because we're going to go out for here, go down to the full length off of the runway, and that's not going to give us much time to do your stock standard single engine taxi, so we will close the doors, get rid of all of these ground crew. I think by law you should disarm your ground power just in case they get electrocuted. Turn on your fuel. Well, from memory, I remember watching the planes taking off as a kid, and they always pull this out once the engines are started. They always do that. You know, you go to international airports, they just push back and the propeller planes that they start spinning and then they go. But when you're at these airports, they always have that guy that does the old spinny thing, and it's like I don't understand why some places do that, but yeah, beyond me. Let's start her up now. So seatbelt smoking, which is usually the now device beacon, warn the people that the plane's about to start, keep away from those spinny sharp things, and using my joystick, I'll turn on the this thing here, turn on this, start the engine, starting engine number 2. Make sure my levers are at idle, spooling up. This guy's annoyed because I'm parking away from him, but it'd be cool if Flight Simulator had these parking bays variable, like when the wind's blowing from the south, they direct you to park 6 south, facing south. It would be cool when Flight Simulator gets to that level, especially with like the double taxiways and just like little things like that would really make the game more immersive. But where it's at, it is pretty much bang on. So that's that engine basically started, and I'm usually quite impatient. I just once it fires up, I'm usually starting engine number 2, but you usually wait until that becomes available. But yeah, as you can see, it will come up now as available. And while there's now power in the aircraft, we can set our trim, which is 0.4 down. Flaps free. I'll do it manually just to show you. Arm the spoiler. Actually, we won't arm the spoiler set. We'll just set this basically now to that TCAM, so it's tracking the traffic, and we can just do our... If we go outside, we can see what we're doing for real. Sometimes the old pilots do the old spoiler test too sometimes. Not much power in it because it's still powering up, but now we can arm the spoilers, and once we brakes off, we can, I think we do this first from memory. We turn off the bleed, turn off the APU. We can just turn off the packs because we're not far from taking off. The passengers can just suck it up, and now we can release the cones, GPU. People are gone, and we can release the parking brake. And now we can taxi on out to our runway. Put a bit of thrust in just to get it. But you can basically taxi this bird. Basically, you can taxi this with basically zero thrust. It's quite a, and I don't have a tiller or anything like that, so I find this no steering. I want to keep it like as real as possible, but I do find it quite. Basically, the concept is just like driving a car. You can't just release the steering wheel and it magically centers. You have to go through the motions. Put our strobe lights on. So we're now entering the active runway. This is real time. It's 3:15 New Zealand morning, so we don't have to worry about ATC because I like to just, I do find sometimes FSR has a few issues where it won't find the correct airport, blah blah blah, and sometimes it's good not to have it. I just like it for predominantly those airports where you need radar vectoring and need a bit of help with the with where to taxi. But apart from that, I do. Is it APU off? Yeah, it's off. I do, and I just make sure the passengers takeoff config is basically, apart from the cabin, it's all green, no blues. Yeah, I don't know. I do like just the silence without ADC. Not quite. I need to try ADC in the flight simulator again, but I do like sort of messing with Navigraph and stuff like that. You just got conflicts left, right, and centre. But when I did use it, and I wished I knew how to do VOR practice, but quite often the game ATC would tell you to do different things that here. So this is Rotorua Airport. They went to the money to extend the runway, but they, according to a few pilots, they didn't do the runway widening. As you see, when you fly to Dunedin, they don't have these turning bays because it's wide enough, and apparently Rotorua is one of those airports where pilots are like, could be better. Definitely could be a lot worse, but and I power right up because it is a short runway. I mean, it's long, but you do want to clear those mountains and terrain which is not really conducive to a plane. Bit of pitch down, as all of the real world pilots say, and then around about 80, 90, 100 you ease off a bit, and we can start our slight exaggeration. I just want to show you guys the outside takeoff, but yeah, that is taking off from Rotorua Airport. Very capable. I mean, it was built around the use of that final configuration is built around Airbus Trans-Tasman 737 flights, which unfortunately never came, but I'm going to put it on autopilot now. Level climb, disarm the speed brakes. I think once it goes above that flap thing, we go all the way to flap 1, I think. Oh, I forgot to do the landing lights, that's okay. The sun's, oh well, have the landing lights on just for turning the packs. And this is Rotorua, this is Rotorua, this is, I'll turn this down slightly. But this is Rotorua, this is my neck of the woods. This is Lake Rotorua, and then it's connected up with Lake Rotorua, and this takes you all the way to the Bay of Plenty. That is hot water, that's hot water pools that you can only access by boats. Remembering this whole area is all geothermal, all of these former volcanoes, calderas. Where's our flaps now? What do you reckon? We'll just set that up for takeoff now. Turn off these. Yeah, it's all basically it's all in plug and play mode now, and this is a nice scenic flight over Rotorua. The surrounding areas of Rotorua. Fortunately, those clouds were in the way, but we're going to be breaking through now and get to see this beautiful part of the country. But yeah, this is Rotorua, my hometown. That's Lake Rotorua. Or is it? Yeah, that's Lake Rotorua. You can see it's a nice long lake, lots of little arms, and this is nice virgin, like remnant rainforest. That's Lake Rotorua, which is a forgotten lake. It's got lots of cool little arms for exploring if you're kayak. Unfortunately, it does suffer from algae blooms, and then you got Lake Rotorua, which is another lovely lake, a bit more healthier, crystal clear. I did a PADI diving course there, and flip, it was cold. But yeah, that's Lake Rotorua, and now there's another little hidden lake. Lots of little hidden lakes all for it. Like you can imagine, this was all active volcanic, like basically wasteland. This would be all like parched earth, really. That's a cool little lake. If you go there at night time, you see glowworms along the cliff faces. So it basically looks like you're flying over the city at night with all of the glowworms scattered around the lake, and you know, it reflects off the lake, and it's really quite beautiful. And this is Lake Aotearoa. This is that lake I was saying. It's surrounded by native forest, and it's got quite a few caves that the Maoris used to live in during like wars and stuff like that, and lots of history here. This is quite a spiritual lake for the Maori people. Lots of battles have been fought all around this area, and this is where the Maoris would seek refuge when an opposing tribe would come through. And now we're entering. You can see like lots of little lakes that you don't know about. That would have been a little volcano back in the day, little crater. Another one there, and then this is Lake Tarawera. This is that's the infamous Mount Tarawera that erupted in 1886. Killed about 200 people. They call it a buried village, where all the ash basically covered the entire village, and which was all linked up to the peak and white terraces. This is like I said, this is the lovely lake, great for trout fishing, swimming, water sports. It's got a multi-million-dollar community, beautiful houses along here. That's Lake Aotearoa. That's a really cool lake to kayak around. Been there a few times as a kid. got a cool little like walkway along here, and that's the Green Lake. That's all that's sacred. That's where they the local iwi, the tribe. That's where they bury their chiefs. So this lake's out of bounds except for if you're part of that tribe, the Aotearoa tribe. And this is the Blue Lake, Lake Tukitapu, which is Maori for blue, I believe. So if you're standing up here, this lake's green because it's shallow, and this lake's very deep and it's dark blue. It's beautiful, and that is like our Rotorua playground. Lots of people go there with their skis, and because it's such a small lake, it's the easiest to get to. And had a cool little water slide. It's a really cool lake, and yeah. No, Rotorua's got so much going for it. As you can see, it is definitely a tourism playground, and this is all Rotorua territory, part of the district council, and then Rotorua sort of owns part of this as in ratepayers, and this is all separate. So all of the water around this area all flows into these lakes and then out to the sea, and then this is a totally different catchment. All of these streams flow into the Waikato River, which is our longest river, which starts off in Lake Taupo. Is effectively a dam because it's got a control gauge which controls the water flow and the water depth, because this is all the Waikato River basically powers most of the North Island. It's got lots of dams and power plants and whatnot, and yeah, it's basically Lake Taupo is basically you could call it like the battery, and this is the battery charge, and this powers most of New Zealand. So all around here is all dairy farming, mixture of dairy farming. You can see these are the skid sites I'm talking to you. I was telling you about earlier. This is all. You fly over here and you're wondering what these are. This is all forestry and areas without these skid sites. That's all native forest, and yeah, you're looking at New Zealand's three main industries: is dairy/beef, sheep farming, forestry, and tourism. The three main things keeping our country alive and afloat. Now, got a standard. I think that's basically us until we get to. I might speed her up a bit. I don't know if I can get it up to my full warp speed of 4 times. My laptop does have her limits. It will see what altitude we can go at. 35, so by the time we get up to 36, that will hopefully tick over. So yeah, we'll stick to the 36,000 feet, and yeah, this is this is our flight. This is, in the ideal world, this would have been the, had Rotorua got its international airport sorted a lot earlier, this would have been, in the ideal world, this would have been the stock standard route that they would have done. Tourists would have either started in Rotorua or started in Queenstown, gone direct from Australia, bang bang, and then they would have gone to Australia, and then that flight would basically take them back to Japan. Instead of going to Christchurch or Auckland, they would have just gone straight into Rotorua, gone to Queenstown, to Sydney, then gone. Because basically you go to Auckland, you're basically, Rotorua's too close, so it's an uncomfortable 4-hour bus drive. Christchurch, quite a scenic drive from Christchurch to Queenstown, but again, you're just cutting out those two big cities with a flight that would have came in from Sydney, that would have been Singapore or Japan Airlines, and it would have co-shared with Air New Zealand and the Mount Cook Airlines group, or Ansett New Zealand, they would have interlinked with Ansett Australia, and yeah, that's what they call the Golden Triangle. Probably starting in Queenstown would be the most ideal, because you go to Rotorua for the hot pools and the geothermal, and it's more relaxed, whereas Queenstown is your... Don't get me wrong, we've still got adventure tourism in Rotorua. You've got the Gimmicky bungee jumping, which is just off a crane, whereas Queenstown, they've got the full authentic off the cliff or off the bridge bungee jump, and yeah, both are really cool places. Flying over this, as you can see, this is the Whanganui National Park, and that's just untouched forest all through there, all deep ravines, gullies, rivers and whatnot. And once again, you can see the little bits of forestry there. This is what we call high country New Zealand in the North Island. This is all predominantly beef and sheep farming, and a little bit of dairy farming, but this is it does sit quite high up, so it's quite not ideal for dairy farming, because you need a warm climate like the Bath Plenty or the Waikato. But yeah, that's the Whanganui River. That's a very famous river in New Zealand too. That's quite an important part of the Māori culture. Starts its life, you can't see it, but that's Ruapehu over there, and it sneaks its way down into the Tasman Sea near Whanganui. And as you can see, it's now flipped up to 36, so we'll stick to 36,000 feet. And yeah, this is the thing about Airbus, it just basically looks after itself. You still have to keep ahead of everyone, but this with the 737, well, someone was just at the door there, but we're back. Right, I might try and see. Be careful, guys, when you go to 4 times, it can get very, very interesting, but my frame rates is pretty average. At the moment it's holding, but you just have to be careful, because when this plane flips out, it happens really fast, and you're trying to push this button and it's moving all about, but we'll see how this goes. Yeah, I do. I love alternating between this and the 737, but look at that rich. I love that rich turquoise merging in with the blue. It was a nice livery. Once again, I like the stripes, but they did look dated after a while. But this livery, I really reckon that could have been like a... I'm going to turn it off 4 times before... So you get these nervous twitches. 2 times is usually quite manageable. But yeah, no, going back to the livery, I really reckon that could have been a timeless Lufthansa, Qantas, Korean Airlines, British Airways. That could have been a livery that lasted for the best part of New Zealand's life, really. It still looks modern and fresh, and just that's everything what New Zealand is. As you can see, you got your turquoise, green forest, farmland, and then you got your blue, which represents the lake, the sea, the sky, and then you got your white kuru, which is basically what the Maoris name New Zealand after Aotearoa, which is the land of the long white cloud, which is a very cloudy place, and that white probably did represent that. And it's got the merge, it all merges in kind of thing. It's a very, very nice livery. The Pacific Wave, that was a nice little touch, although some aircraft like this, it didn't quite suit it, whereas it suited the 747 because it was more, that size perception. It fitted really well, but yeah, so Air New Zealand had 8 or 9 liveries, so it had, if you go back to the 1940s when New Zealand first started, 1940, it was just a teal, which is Tasman Empire Airlines Limited or something like that, teal. And that was just like the word over here with a blue and green stripe kind of thing, and then they had like a little stripe that ran along here. Then it became, they call it the 5-star livery, so it was basically a black tail. Hopefully this isn't frozen. But yeah, teal was a black tail with 5 stars. Oh, there we go. Thank goodness for that. Yeah, teal, the DC-8 when they first arrived, it was a black tail with 4 or 5 5-point stars with the word teal, which was teal/Air New Zealand, and then it just became Air New Zealand with a green stripe with blue on either side. Not my favourite livery. Would be cool if they bring that back. And then the infamous DC-10 came along, and that's when the kuru first adorned our tails. And I do like that livery. They had the turquoise trim that went all the way along, and then it carried on down to the nose, and it wrapped right round, and then the blue, that sort of blue sort of came down, and it sort of merged in with the green, and then there's a little pinstripe blue that went along. That was really nice. It made the DC-10 look really sharp. The DC-8 didn't look too good on it. I mean, I really reckon that fleet livery should match the aircraft, not a one-size-fits-all. I think different liveries look quite cumbersome on various aircraft, but and then my favourite livery, I call it the 747-200 because that's what it came out in, was, as you know, unfortunately, DC-10 crashed in Erebus and Antarctica, and I don't think DC-10s were a popular aircraft after that, and after a few other crashes and stuff, and it could have been different if New Zealand didn't have that crash. They could have soldiered on a long more time, and we could have had something else, but New Zealand has a proud history with Boeing. Got the 747-200s, which had the iconic blue and turquoise stripes, and the blue and the green that just went down to there, and it was nicely framed. And 1996, the last teal and blue, turquoise and blue livery came out, and that was the infamous Pacific Wave with a really cool ad campaign that followed it. And then this is technically the last livery. They call it the revised teal, turquoise and blue final livery. It's basically removed the little Pacific wave that was quite, from what I understand, was quite a bit of work because it just peeled off all the time, and then they went with initially they went with the black tail, which looked horrible. I call that the in-between, like this, the in-between livery, and then what they have now, which is the black tail with the fern, and then the alternate one is the Thai black aircraft. It looks nice, but teal and blue, that I love that. That is in New Zealand. Unfortunately, in different light, it does look like a black tail, but that just really pops it. That kudu really stands out. It's quite a mesmerising, iconic tail when you look at it. And yeah, this is us flying. That's the Milford Sound. That's where, as a kid, we went through there on they call it the mail boat run. You go to all these little bays and islands delivering the people's mail, and you can see they've got the water masking done all right here. This would be spectacular if they carried on with that. That's Farewell Spit over there. That's one of the longest sandbars in the world. Also call it the whale trap. You get lots of strandings around here because this is all shallow water and it just gradually goes up, and of course whales have sonar which bounces off the terrain and they know where they are, but here unfortunately there's no sonar that comes back, and then they end up getting stranded. This is all like tidal, of course, so the strip can be quite a lot bigger, and yeah, quite a cool area. I haven't been there, but it looks fantastic. You can do tours. There's a lighthouse at the end here, and one thing New Zealand does have a lot of, and that's lighthouses. This whole island is built on lighthouses. As you can see, there's lots of dangerous areas where ships have come into contact, and yeah, this is Nelson. That's Marlborough. That's famous wineries all through there. As you can see, like, Nelson is a sunshine capital of New Zealand. They get so much sunshine, but this does collect a lot of moisture, and then over here it starts just absolutely bone dry. Summer it gets up to the 30s, 40s. Winter it's like -5 kind of thing, -6, -10 even. It's a very up and down place, whereas this is more lusher, more temperate, more just constant and regular. And there's really cool national parks all around here. This is quite a big fruit growing area in New Zealand, the Nelson Bays. As you can see, they've got the nice water maskings through here with the estuary, and we'll do a flight to Queenstown. It's a lovely airport, especially with NZA simulations, amazing rendition of the airport like that. They've really done a good job with everything. Yeah, so cruising along down this, basically this is the spine of the South Island. And according to Maori folklore, that the South Island, if you look at New Zealand on a map, the South Island was like, it's basically the canoe, the waka of the local people. They have these like really cool stories, demigods you could call them, but Maui, him and his 5 brothers went kayaking, and the Stewart Island, that's the anchor that moored the kite while they went fishing, the canoe, the waka. The 5 main mountains along here represent the brothers, and Maui cast his hook in and pulled up, as you can see, looks like a big fish. The big stingray, as you can see, it's got the stingray look to it. So the North Island is the stingray, the South Island is the kite, the waka, the canoe, the firefly main. I don't know who the other ones are, but Maui is well known for New Zealand primary school. When you learn about the Maori history, they've got really beautiful stories and way of explaining things. It's really cool. And then the Stewart Island is the anchor. And yeah, we're flying along the Southern Alps. This is the lush green side of this mountain range. The prevailing winds from the west come through here for the moisture, and as you can see, there's some lakes and beautiful green forests, and then the mountains stop it, and then it just, yeah, that's just, once upon a time that would have been forested, but yeah, that's just basically not quite desert, but that's all in the winter that's all brown and barren and dry. Still farming, of course, and the winter it gets a bit of a green flush, but yeah, a bit of backside history in New Zealand if you guys like it. New Zealand's weird. I don't know what it is, but they haven't allowed access to all of their airfields, so you don't get like the meta and stuff like that. You just have to like find it. The weather thing I use, Active Sky, gives you rough ideas on what everything is, but yeah, unfortunately, Met Service New Zealand hasn't allowed global use of their data. But their free four main airports, Wellington, Queenstown, Christchurch, and Auckland, they have meta, which is good, so you can just apply meta and it comes up, which is brilliant, and we can probably start entering some of that in. So basically 1200, make it 1100 tonnes of fuel will be used. So about 60, we'll go 63.1 just to, and once again we're going to use medium brake and just roll on out to the end of the runway, and yeah, you basically want to just roll out to the end of the runway because you have to turn around at the end and backtrack. One thing about Queenstown, it does catch a lot of like various overseas flights and out, because I think there's a parallel taxiway, but that's only for small Cessna type aircraft, Cessna Caravans and whatnot. I'll start adding the starter in just so it's sort of ready, I guess. 4, 15, 60. And 69. And the minimum, the barrel we call it, or MDA, is, for some reason, for some reason it comes up with the charts for Zulu but not for Yankee. But you can have the charts overlay, but it doesn't come up as an option. Oh. Just disregard that. That's one of those little things that happens on predominantly this Airbus. I love Airbus, but it does, all Airbuses seem to have just, I don't know, I'm just going to add in 23, 24. Yeah, for some reason the Airbuses in all aspects, they seem to have warnings there. But yeah, the Airbuses seem to have a few quirks, like they seem to be unstable when you do the old time compression. And any other time that, like, yeah, for some reason the Boeings seem to be more stable when it comes to flying like how I fly. Anyway, that thing's a bit annoying, but that will just have to do. But yeah, this is flying over the Southern Alps. They are the beginnings of the Southern Alps. The spine of New Zealand that runs basically, in a way, the spine runs all the way through to Wellington and then up through that ranges that I showed you when we were flying into Rotorua. But we definitely do need to do, like, when I get 2024, we'll do like cool bush trips through here, explore these mountain ranges, do some bush flying, lots of really cool, challenging airstrips, a lot of them not on the actual airports itself in the flight simulator, but you can definitely pick out all of the little strips as you're flying along. As you can see, so much of this country is like untouched in a way. A lot of this has not been set foot on. It's yeah, for what it is, a lot of travellers, they spend months in Australia, basically see the same thing, and then they come to New Zealand thinking it's one of those little islands that you do in a week, and then they realise that New Zealand, Aotearoa, has so much to offer. There's so much to see and do and explore. Yeah, it's one of those places people wish they spent more time here in New Zealand and wish that they spent little time in Australia, because Australia is a lovely country, but it is very much same, but not very vast. Got the rainforest, the deserts, they even got the mountains and whatnot, beautiful oceans, not so much lakes as such, but you're just traveling so long to get anywhere. Like, a lot of people being in Rotorua, a lot of tourists would say that they just drive along the same road, see the same scenery, but come to New Zealand and then they realise there is actually so much to do here, so many different little walks and side roads, and yeah. These are all like glaciers that flow on through. These are the famous South Island braided rivers that flow all the way through to the Canterbury Plains and out to the Southern/Pacific Ocean. Yeah, definitely going to come back. Definitely going to come back and explore this region. Hopefully this works. I mean, I do play these videos back and they are... I need to get a mic if I want to do this properly, but here I just not talk. But like I say, man, if you like this content and you like my voice and you like me talking, that's fine. I'm not a pilot, but if you don't, then I mean, we've all done it in the past, but please leave good reviews or constructive feedback. I'm trying my best, and I'm just sharing my passion, my indulgence with you guys. Like many of you, not all of us are blessed with high-paying jobs or rich parents or anything like that. We just it's us people that, especially us that fly Microsoft flights and that, or a lot of us are just filling a void that we never got the opportunities in life to do, but that is life, and we just carry on and dream maybe one day that we can do this for real, even if it's just being your stock standard PPL recreation pilot or microlight or whatever aviation related fields that there are. There's sailing, paragliding, soaring, hang gliding. There's so many different, parachuting even, although when you're parachuting you have a bloody high insurance rate, that's for sure. But yeah, lots of different options there for us if we do put in a bit of money, but being an airline pilot, that would be, unless you're into military flying, this would be, sitting in this seat here would be the absolute pinnacle, I reckon. But mind you, like, I've done truck driving, I like the A to B nature, and I can imagine being a commercial pilot. Some say it's just a glorified bus driver, but when you've got views like this and you've got the responsibility of everyone in the back there, unless you're flying the beloved cargo, you don't have any passengers to disturb you. This is probably the pinnacle of flying, eh? But yeah, that's another famous glacier that feeds into, I think this is Lake Pukaki. This is part of, oh, that's over there, but these are all the glaciers that tourists come to see. And yeah, if you want to see a glacier and you want to come to New Zealand, check these out while they're still here, because they definitely are receding at a rapid rate. So yeah, Lake Tekapo, this is Lake Tekapo, folks. I believe that's Lake Pukaki, which is Mount Cook is over here somewhere. That's where Mount Cook Airlines and aviation-related tourism all sort of started, really. Some guy started Mount Cook Airlines, which became our, still to this day, although it's absorbed in New Zealand's big fleet now, the subsidiary no longer exists. The ATR 72s, which are now 32 of them, ATR 72 I should have said, that's the remnants of Mount Cook Airlines. Went from like a top dressing plane to a fleet of DC-3s, and then a whole lot of various other aircraft, and basically from the bottom of the South Island to the top, they did everything, agricultural, tourism. That airport there, so Mount Cook built their own airport, that's Lake Pukaki, I think it's over here. Oh no, this is Mount Cook, that's Mount Cook Airport. They built this airport, but they only allowed Mount Cook Airlines to fly there, so Ansett New Zealand, which was the other tourist airline, they built their own airport here for their Dash 8s, and yeah, a bit like Ryanair and EasyJet battle, but on a tourism like Thompson and whatnot. These two airlines really battled it out for supremacy and dominance. That's their backup airport for both of them. If weather was too bad, that was the backup airport, and then the tourists would get on the old Mount Cook land line, they call it, the bus, and go up to the glaciers. But yeah, in the summer that's a nice, like a real, that sort of greeny blue, it's a very beautiful lake. We better get ready for our descent now. So now we're ahead of the game, relatively speaking. We we're just gonna set our funnel approach like I usually do to 3100, but you're just, if you're on Batson, you just follow their altitude restrictions. But once, I always did this quite early, but what I now know what you do is you wait for it to come up here, it will say decelerate, and then you just basically arm your descent, and then you just, what was it, 31 wasn't it, 31, and yeah, you just, down she goes. And I really do not know why that warning light's still there, but it's going to be one of those things that hits me on the head when I see it. But no, like I say, this is entertainment purposes. We don't worry about these sort of warnings like we would in real life. We'll be going through I don't know if they have manuals in these planes anymore, but they'll definitely be going through their, mind you, from what I understand, these planes, there's always little failures all the time, like when I was driving trucks, there's always things that weren't working properly and you just had to make do with it. And I can imagine, from what I understand, these aircraft being such complex aircraft, there are things going on wrong all the time. There's lots of like inox switches and stickers and whatnot. Yeah, I think having a perfect aircraft with nothing wrong with it, I think it's one of those dreams for pilots. Just arm the spoiler just so it's ready. Here we're going to start our approach into just a spectacular runway 05 approach, and we will, going on flight radar and stuff like that, we will probably disarm the brakes once we're under control, and we just basically roll it out. Watching flight radar, they just roll it right out to the very end and then just backtrack the whole way back, unless, because in real life the spacings are very, very much far apart. Busy airport, but how they got it all segregated, they don't have any, I mean, they can turn around anywhere on the runway, but predominantly flight radar, you see them do it right at the end, so we'll do that, and that's the taxiway we don't go on. Very tempting, including the runway, but yeah, we don't go into that. Yeah, Queenstown is the backtrack airport, and that goes for this one too, so especially if you're on Batson, if you're landing on 23, you roll out right to the very end because planes will come in behind you and taxi out, so this is basically two separate taxiways, but it's all one pavement. So if you're landing on 23, you roll out, and the plane waiting to depart will roll on out of this taxiway, then you slip on in through there, and vice versa. If you're coming into land, you usually on 23 you taxi on this taxiway, and then planes waiting to depart will, as soon as you've gone past that, they'll line up and wait. Hopefully that makes sense. But as you can see, this is all high country, all beef and sheep farming. With this area produces the very peaches and apricots that you eat overseas, probably have come from this valley here. This is one of the world's top stone fruit. I picked stone fruit once in Cornwall there, didn't last long. Got a bit of vertigo and being on a little ladder. Yeah, picking apricots and peaches, plums, grateful cherries predominantly through here. And the rest is all your famous. If you go into Country Calendar, and you'll see some, it's on YouTube, you'll see some pretty cool videos of farmers and what they do. It's New Zealand, they are a different breed, and yeah, these are all ski fields up here as well. This is your classic tourism and agriculture all mixed into one area. This is why Japanese tourists loved coming to New Zealand before the unfortunate financial crash in 1995-96, which probably killed Mount Cook Airlines as an airline, and it was the reason why Rotorua never saw the success that Queenstown did. It left just a bit too long with the runway extension, and now Rotorua isn't in the best state of health at the moment, but hopefully it gets better, because I mean, Queenstown is a beautiful place, lovely mountains, but I reckon Rotorua has a lot more to offer as a destination. So we might just set our standards now, because we are getting to that altitude. So just going to push the magic. Actually I don't manually because we're still. That's roughly what we've got there, 4. So yeah, we do a mix. I do a mixture of both. I will sometimes. I'll show you what a lot of pilots will do. So they will come into here. They will activate the approach just so it's out of the way. Then they'll go into manage speed, and then they'll manage their speed manually, just so they keep on top of it, because it does run away coming through here. It can do it quite well, but sometimes you just need that help. But now that we're on these, they call them bricks, we might as well just arm the approach so it does it all automatically for you. But yeah, this is, look, that just fits so well with the background, that teal and blue. But yeah, this is the spectacular Queenstown. This is the lesser one of the better runway 23, but you've got the beautiful lake through here, and I believe there's a visual approach that pilots do that come through this. There's a really famous one on YouTube. It's all like overcast, and the pilot just comes through here. Then it's like he just breaks through the cloud and circles around, and it really makes you see why pilots do their job, because there's nothing better than a gloomy day in Glasgow and you punch on through that cloud layer, and man, that is spectacular. So I just manually scroll down the speed like that, make sure, might as well do the landing lights and the turn-off lights. Everything else is basically thereabouts, really. I mean, I noticed 737, the 800s, they really do manage the speed through here, because they really do need to keep ahead of the game. But I've watched, I mean, in New Zealand, pilots do this every single day. They know the boundaries, but I think they just have it in managed speed mode, and then they just peel it back for right at the last moment. You know, the old Kiwi mentality. But yeah, this is all of this is, they're famous for hunting tahr and various big deer that they released in here, and lots of cool hikes. Unfortunately, New Zealand's not quite like Scotland, where you got right to roam, but I think most of these mountains are accessible to the public, which is good. And we'll take it off we don't need time compression anymore. So yeah, we are now basically on what you could say an ILS final approach into Queenstown, and I'll show you just how capable this autopilot is. For those who want to do what I'm doing right now, I'm just admiring the beautiful. This is actually a really cool approach. I do like it. We need to use our speed brake just a bit, bring that speed back again, and we might as well We'll scroll it down a bit more, but we will get that speed down to 180. Once again, at Queenstown is a busy airport. You'll get those classic photos of 6 or 7 jets all parked on the apron, but they are quite decently spaced out, and they do have a lot of time up their sleeves for slower approaches. But yeah, probably a bit too fast, but we will flaps out. Might as well put the gear down for extra drag. I mean, you do have to be, like I say, be ahead of the game, but predominantly speaking, you do have, like, if this was me 5 years ago, I'd be freaking out right now, but I am quite calm and collective now, and this just feels so smooth, so I put it back into a manual speed mode now. We're now basically out of that danger zone. The spoilers, get it all set up for our landing. And basically the aircraft will just manage itself thereabouts, keeping an eye on it, get that flaps down straight away so we can get that speed right back. Make sure your landing lights, everything's all okay, minus this master warning sign. Final flaps, full flaps. You could do this at flaps free, or use a little bit less fuel, but yeah, why go fast when you've got this to contend with? And yeah, I do appreciate landing on runway 05. It is a very picturesque landing. You've got the lake below you, you've got the mountain ranges along here that reflect perfectly off this lake that's usually most of the time quite flat. And if you're on the left-hand side, you'll be getting some nice spectacular scenery off Queenstown, which unfortunately on my system it's probably a bit melted, but this is flying over the famous idyllic winter wonderland town of New Zealand. That feels like you're in somewhere in Europe or the US. Absolutely not at all does it feel like New Zealand, but that's okay. Us Kiwis, it's a bit like Tenerife or whatever the equivalent is. We come here for a good time and a party and meet the international tourists, but that's the Skyline Sky Rides. Not the same as Rotorua. I reckon the Rotorua one has got a lot better track with the luges. But nonetheless, that's just a steep climb. You can see a little gondola car up there, and then up there it's the Devil's Staircase. You zigzag up and down that row, but then you come into this beautiful ski field, and we should get ready for our landing, guys. Well, like I say, I'll autopilot. Everything's all good. We'll autopilot it all the way down to basically touchdown and show you guys how autopilot can really take a lot of load off your flying. But as you can see, it's basically like an ILS. You can even I'll take these just because I've got all the time in the world. As you can see, we're basically matching the puppy there. 2 reds, 2 green, 2 whites, I should say. And I've probably disengaged the autopilot now just because I haven't set it up to my. And yeah, this feels a lot better than our Rotorua landing. that's because we were paying more attention. But yeah, you could basically autopilot that approach all the way down to the ground, basically. 150, 40. And apart from tuning, because I'm trying to move around, that is landing into Queenstown. I let it run a bit. I accidentally put on the brakes and not let it do its thing, but apart from that, that is how you fly. That's how you land in Queenstown, and that was a lot better than the Rotorua one. And yeah, usually most times these pilots will look, when I follow flight radar and see what they're doing, they will usually roll it right to the end of the runway here and turn around here and start their taxi back, because like I say, it's a busy airport, but all of the flights are staggered out, so there's usually not too much in the way of congestion, like having to get going really quickly. So I will, I just like it because it's fun to do. I mean, far out fun to do sounds a bit. We'll reset our flight directors, but we will. I do find the plane is quite. It does get away on you with the Airbus, but yeah, we'll simulate a single engine taxi because we can and we will. Because we like to conserve fuel here, guys. And yeah, when I get Flight Simulator 24, I mean, I think the scenery is going to be very much the same. Look at that, that's stunning. But, oh, might as well open up the... Let's get some fresh air into the cockpit, eh? Kiwi styles with the arm out the window there. But yeah, I think I'll get the helicopter out one day and take you guys for a flight through the valleys here and pretend to be many things, whether we're deer hunters, trampers, big big on there, like helicopter skiing, going up into those mountains for the pristine fresh snow. APUs, oh, I better turn on the APU, don't want to have an issue with that. But yeah, lots of helicopter flights all around the back country here. Lots of hidden lodges and there are some real nice 5-star lodges all over these mountains here. Beautiful, like glass plane, open plan view of the valleys, and lots of hidden stuff that we don't know about here. Right, I'm going to turn off the taxi light, strobe light, and this is the taxiway we take when we're landing 105, and then the departing aircraft would have already started their backtrack, and we will go over to that parking bay, eh? Give our APU all the time in the world to fire up. But yeah, this is Queenstown. It's a good add-on. It's not immaculate, but it's definitely better than the Microsoft Asobo rendition of their so-called handcrafted airports. Lots lacking in that, I'm afraid, but yeah, this is cool. We need to do a scenic flight to the Milford Sound as well, like departing off that cross runway there. as I mentioned, all of these taxiways are strictly for, yep, you've guessed it, strictly for single engine light aircraft only. We'll take this taxiway here. But this is definitely your classic scene into Queenstown when you're flying. You're always, when you're arriving into Queenstown, apart from the much missed tail and bling, you'd see your kuru / fern livery over there. Definitely see that, and you'll see possibly a Virgin, and definitely a Qantas or a Jetstar, Airbus A320s, 738s, and you'll also get your solitary ATR 72-600 from Air New Zealand, from Christchurch, and sometimes Wellington. Yep, that will do, guys, and that is, we'll do the old shutdown. Like I say, come up here, turn off all your fuel tanks, and while you're at it, you turn off your electric yellow pump thingamajig, turn off your spoilers, release the hounds, and remember to push this button here to shut your window. And we can, for some reason it stops doing that deboarding thing, but I don't mind, it stops the doors from automatically shutting. And that is us into Queenstown. All of the people on our flight can now go and do whatever they. Another thing, this airport is full of, like, that's a classic scene there. There's often private jets all shoved into the corners here. Hopefully one day they are looking at building a terminal over there and making this business jets only, and even an actual parallel taxiway. There's a lot they're going to plan on doing. We're looking at another airport around the corner there, but I think that's been vetoed by the public. But I do feel that airports are a very critical part of, especially New Zealand's infrastructure, and it is an insurance policy, so I do feel that airports have an important role to play, even considering the noise aircraft make is minimal. And yeah, if you live in Queenstown, you are 100% reliant on tourism, and this is the necessary evil, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll have a quick look around Queenstown. I don't think the airport is exactly that, still a great airport. Oh, it does have like, what do you call it? It does have an interior. Does it have a? No, I'm just going to give this a try. Not quite. No, it does. The control tower looks alright. But yeah, these are where all your helicopters and your scenic flight operators depart from. And if you go on Flight Radar during the daytime here, you see lots of activity, lots of Cessna caravans flying over the hill there into, and this, not that, but if you like cricket and you're a big fan of cricket, come to this cricket stadium when the Black Caps next play Queenstown. This is, as you can see, they played test matches here. And imagine if you're a plane lover like myself, you get the best of both worlds. You get to watch a few sixes, a few wickets on the crease, and then you get to pop your head over this little embankment here and just, while you, I don't think you can bring your own booze. You can definitely bring your own chili bin of your classic rotisserie chicken. Oh, that sounds so good. Rotisserie chicken, buttered buns, a bit of coleslaw and potato salad, and yeah, look over to the airport here. Look over to the beautiful Queenstown airport. Unfortunately, the colours are not there anymore. You've got vision is okay. Qantas is psych on it. That was the livery, and then you got this. It is New Zealand. I do like it. It's grown on me. It looks good now that the whole fleet are now painted it. They do get the Airbus A321s, which are currently gliders at the moment, but yeah, that is our current livery, which I hope, even if they coloured this thing in to make it look like, you know, power colour, you know, that would just make it so much more than what it is now, but hey, it is what it is, and we will have good memories of that. So guys, thank you so much for being a part of this flight, and we will see you on the next video, and hopefully I'll put these, instead of collecting these, I'll put them up, and yeah, thank you guys, see you later.